I'm in the DC area. I'm meeting up with one of my really high-end clients who's got 6 handmade spoons by Paul Revere. Anything Paul Revere is pretty amazingly cool and has a lot of history. So the second I heard about this, I figured I better jump on a plane and go take a look at these. Hey, how's it going, man?
Good, how you doing, Rick? Nice to see you again.
Good, we finally hooked up in the same town.
Absolutely.
Well, look at that. Those are amazing.
I have a set of 6 teaspoons made by Paul Revere in the 18th century. I purchased them from a collector about 9 years ago, but since then I have acquired another set of spoons, so I don't mind selling one set to Rick. And I'm asking for $100,000 for the spoons.
That's really, really cool. A lot of people don't realize that Paul Revere was a silversmith, too.
Absolutely.
I don't know about nowadays, but when I was young, we learned, sit back and you will hear about the midnight ride of Paul Revere.
Right, exactly.
He was right in the mix of the entire thing when the revolution started. He was going to the pubs, to the secret meetings, and
Absolutely.
complaining about the crown. He was around everybody in the Continental Congress, you know, who wrote the Declaration of Independence. I mean, he played a major role in organizing the beginning of the revolution.
Absolutely. Paul Revere is best known for his midnight ride in 1775.
1 up by land, 2 up by sea. And after he did that, he rode 12, 15 miles, something like that, screaming out to everybody.
The British were coming, the British were coming. So, Rick, I think you really need to look at these up close.
What's the initials on them?
JMH. Now, I'm hoping it stands for John Hancock, but I'm not sure it is. And then if you look on the back, the little stamp of PR for Paul Revere.
That's pretty cool. These would have been handmade in the shop.
Absolutely. It's just amazing to be able to hold an item like this, made over 220 years ago.
So how much are you looking to get out of these?
Well, based on what I paid 9 years ago, I would need $100,000.
Okay. It's very, very tempting, but that's a lot of money. Well, Mark Hall Patton's coming by here in a little bit. He works with me a lot. Also works for the Clark County Museum. Let me have him take a look at it, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
If Mark Hall Patton thinks they're 100% legit, pretty soon I'll be having a cup of tea with a spoon made by Paul Revere. Paul Revere spoons.
All right, very interesting.
I don't know if it's complete nerd heaven, but it's really, really cool.
Paul Revere just fascinates me. Obviously was part of the Sons of Liberty, which was an underground group that was doing spying on the British. He was a wonderful silversmith, but he was also unusual because he was also an engraver. You know, and that is something that you didn't normally find with silversmiths at that point. You know, and I can see from here that the spoons are engraved. Do you mind if I bring them a little closer? Oh, of course, yes,
That would be great.
Let me just take. Oh, very nice. Well, that's the Paul Revere hallmark.
So are they the real McCoy? Are they real Revere?
They are. These are real. The engraving is correct for the time period. Given these hallmarks, it looks good to me.
Okay. So I know what you want for them. What's your best price?
Sell this. I would sell the set of spoons to you for $90,000.
You wouldn't do 75,000?
I wouldn't do 75,000.
Would you do 85,000?
You're killing me here.
I'm not killing. I mean, you already have another set, so you really don't need these, and it would make my day, as a matter of fact.
I want to help make your day, so we have a deal.
Sweet, man. I don't want to, like, throw those in my luggage.
No.
What do you got?
I got a fork off the Hindenburg.
Off the Hindenburg. Where did you get this?
My Uncle Fuzzy was a Marine that guarded the wreck at Lakehurst, New Jersey.
I mean, that story's interesting, but I want to know why they call him Uncle Fuzzy.
I came today to the pawn shop to sell my fork that came off the Hindenburg when it crashed. I'm hoping to get $10,000 to $12,000 for it. I'd like to sell it because money. There's things I want to do before it's too late.
Okay, so he ended up picking up the fork off the ground.
Oh, yeah, the Germans didn't want anything but the frame. All of this stuff was just scattered all over the ground.
Yeah, the Hindenburg was gigantic. I mean, it was over 2 football fields long.
Yeah.
It did use hydrogen, which is really, really flammable. It's pretty amazing that it survived. I mean, it was a really fiery crash. It burned down in less than a minute. But they weren't that dangerous. They'd been traveling all around the world for years and years and years. It had already done plenty of traffic in between Brazil and Germany, and that was its regular route.
Right.
The interesting thing about the Hindenburg disaster was the way it was covered in the media. It was on newsreels and radio all around the world. It was one of the first times people could see and hear a major event like that.
Well, it looks in terrible shape. Whether it was in a fire or not, I don't know. I see the Zeppelin symbol right there. That doesn't tell me it was on the Hindenburg. I mean, it all looks legit. How much do you want for it?
10 to 12
10 to 12 what?
thousand. This is history.
I know that, but it's still a fork.
Yeah.
I mean, the picture helps a whole lot, but just to ease my mind, do you mind if I have someone else look at this?
Not at all. Not at all.
If it's definitely from the Hindenburg, he'll tell me it's definitely from the Hindenburg.
Okay.
Okay?
That's fine.
I'll be right back.
All right, guy.
If this fork turns out to be real, I'm sure I could sell it for top dollar. Because everyone has heard of the Hindenburg. It's the kind of thing collectors will go crazy for.
What do we got?
1 Hindenburg fork.
Okay. The guys normally call me down if they have an unusual artifact, something that's come in that they need authentication, whether or not it's real, or a little bit more understanding of what it is. This particular disaster just about killed off the Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, the way that they were making money on this wasn't on their passengers. They were actually making more money by carrying the mail because it was faster than sending it by ship. The Hindenburg was a huge, hard-sided, lighter-than-air vehicle. It used hydrogen, and there was always a worry that fire could occur. Still, to this day, we don't know exactly what happened to the airship, why it burned. The company had a specific flatware design they used on all the Zeppelins. It should be the globe here, the Zeppelin across it, and the DZR translates from the German as the German Zeppelin Transport Company. Let me see here, yes. Bruckmann was the manufacturer that they used. The burn marks on it look right. With what I see as I'm standing here, I don't know. Because this is exactly the same fork that would have been used on other ones. I think it's likely that it did come off the Hindenburg, you know, because of this. It's about 80% yes, but I cannot tell you that for sure.
All right, I wish I could say thank you.
Sorry about that, but I'll always be honest with you. There wasn't anything that necessarily said these photographs and this fork go together. You can't say definitively that something is or is not the case.
Well, I understand what the man said, but I know what happened. I know that my uncle was there, so it's up to you as to what you want to do.
I truly believe it's from the Hindenburg.
Thank you.
I believe your story. Everything seems right and everything else like that.
It is a piece of history.
I mean,
don't-
before I put out that kind of money for it, I'd have to be 100%, and it's my reputation on the line when, I go to sell this stuff.
Right.
So
I'd really like to make you an offer, but I'm not.
Okay.
thanks for bringing it in. This is just the kind of historical item that sets our shop apart from all the others. But without stronger authentication, I think I'm gonna have trouble selling this down the road. So I had to let it go. Too bad. Hey, what do we got here?
Hi, how's it going? I have this Allan Adler sterling silver flatware.
Okay.
A friend of mine gave it to me.
Just gave it to you?
Yeah, I think it was kind of sentimental for her, but not so much for me. That's true. I've done some research online, and I heard that Allan Adler made flatware for Michael Jackson and Katharine Hepburn, and I'm hoping I can get 6,800.
Oh, iced teaspoons, cool.
Yeah, those are really cool. I love those.
Allan Adler was silversmith to the stars. Paul Newman, Katharine Hepburn, Frank Sinatra. This was high-end fancy stuff that was required in high society. He did that whole arts and craft looking thing. He never did the crazy scroll work or the really ornate patterns. It was really simple. I think this design was designed in like the late 60s.
Yeah.
And one thing you got here that's cool is it's nicer than scrap. That's the best way to put it. People still collect this stuff, and it's resellable. The whole dinner party thing is kind of a lost art. But this stuff has that Hollywood glitz and glamour associated with it. So I think I can resell it, but it's still a thin market, and I have to be careful what I pay for it.
I believe there's like 84 pieces in here.
Okay. 7.
7.
Standard is 8. Okay. And we have 7. You don't have a full set here. You don't have a full setting for 8. You got some neat pieces and everything like that. When I get a set like this in, it's a lot of work to sell it. You know, so I have to put it all online individually because someone's not going to really want to buy only a partial set. What did you want for this?
I was thinking like 6,800.
I mean, if you were out to go buy this stuff retail, it'd probably cost you $10,000 at least. If you looked up online, those are probably the prices you saw.
Yeah. That's why I thought 6,800 was really reasonable.
If I'm lucky, I'll probably get around $6 grand for it. That's why I'll give you $3 grand.
$3 grand? Oh, man,
It's
you're
years of
killing
work
me.
selling this, cataloging it. It is a literal nightmare doing this.
I said 6,800 and you said $3 grand. Can you meet me in the middle?
What, at 3,200?
No, more like 4,500 seems fair. You said you'd make $6 grand, so
No,
I'm
I
still
wouldn't
leaving
make
you
$6
room.
grand. I hope to get right around $6,000 if I sell it over the
Okay.
course of the next 2 or 3 years. I'll tell you what,
Come on.
I will give you $3,800. I will not give you a penny more, and that's what I will give you.
Okay, how about 4,000?
How about
I'm coming
3,800?
way down. I was at 6,800.
Okay,
I'm really being fair.
It's nothing about being fair. It's the reality of life.
3,900. Come
All right,
on,
3,850.
3,900. Really?
So 3,850.
All right.
It's a deal. I'll meet you right over there
Okay.
and give you some money.
Okay,
Okay?
thanks.
I just bought myself a bunch of work.
3,850 was a little lower than I planned to even consider, but I kind of felt good that I got Rick to go just a little above his lowest price he said he would pay me.
Oh, what do we got here?
This is a very special spoon.
Okay.
It was handed down through my family, and I was told that it was made by Paul Revere.
It does say Revere on the back of it.
The British are coming! The British are coming!
I'm going in the pawn shop today to try and sell my old silver Paul Revere spoon. My daughter is getting married, and we're putting out for a very expensive wedding, so I obviously need to get as much as I can for this spoon.
Do you know anything about it?
Like I said, supposedly it dates back to the days of Paul Revere.
Not only did he make one of the most famous rides ever, he was also a silversmith. Usually these are behind like 3 inches of glass.
Everyone knows Paul Revere from history class. He's the guy who rode the horse yelling, "The British are coming, the British are coming." But what most people don't know, he was also a silversmith, and a damn good silversmith. It appears to be coin silver. Back in the late 1700s, early 1800s, it would be ridiculous to go take a silver coin and trade it in for the exact same amount of silver. So they just grabbed silver coins, melted them down, and made silver out of them. It definitely looks old because you got this rainbow patina right here. I mean, that looks like real age. It doesn't look like it was aged patina. The way they age silver is they heat it up in an oven and dip it in water right away, and that will instantly tarnish it. But it gives it the wrong color because it's a black color, and it doesn't give you like this rainbow effect, which happens after a lot of age. This spoon looks right, and it looks old. And if it was really made by Paul Revere, it's a piece of American history, and I can't begin to tell you how much I want it.
Have any idea what it's worth?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Revere, it could be worth a lot of money. I mean, possibly it may be a $10,000 spoon. But stuff by Paul Revere has been faked forever. I mean, I've seen this stamp in a book, but I've never seen it in person. A little bit of knowledge is really, really dangerous. I'm not going to throw out a number until I have someone look at it.
Sure. I'm okay with that.
So let me make some phone calls. We'll see what the deal is. Maybe we can do something.
Fair enough.
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay, sure.
Hi, Rick. How are you?
Well, this is what I called you about.
That's the Paul Revere spoon.
Well, it says Revere anyway. Could be Bob Revere, I don't know.
There are a lot of fakes and reproductions, so you have to be extraordinarily careful. I'm an expert in early American history and artifacts. So, Rick, what are your concerns about this piece?
Everything looks like it could be old, but I'm not going to put out money until I know.
Oh, absolutely. When inspecting the spoon, one has to look at the patina, the authenticity of the coin silver, the engraving of the decoration, and the hallmark punch that's on the back. And this appears to be coin silver. The patina is lovely. It's original and natural, so whatever's developed here doesn't appear to be fake. And it's got a lot of wear on it. This spoon was used.
Yeah.
And it has a really nice decoration with the initials PK. What people don't know, for the most part, about Paul Revere was that he was a prolific engraver, and he actually engraved plates for the printing of paper money of Massachusetts and New Hampshire during the Revolutionary War period. Looking at your punch mark, that's really a critical part of this whole equation, whether or not it was made by Paul Revere. This looks good.
Okay.
But there were two Paul Reveres, you know that. There's Paul Revere Sr. and then Paul Revere Jr., who was the famous Paul Revere, the one with the midnight ride. He became an apprentice to his father and took up the family trade as a silversmith. This Paul Revere tablespoon is absolutely authentic, but you also have to determine whether it was Paul Revere Sr. or Paul Revere Jr. who made the spoon. A spoon by Paul Revere Jr. is typically more valuable because of his fame and his patriotic endeavors during the American Revolutionary War. I brought this monograph called Paul Revere Goldsmith from the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. In the back page here, you'll see that there are all these different designs of known hallmarks used by Paul Revere Sr. and Paul Revere Jr. So let's take a look at the hallmark. It's really nice and sharp, nice and clear, and all of the fonts match up. This looks like it's the real deal done by Paul Revere Jr. Sweet.
You're absolutely certain?
I would buy it. Collectors would love to have this, and they're rare.
So here's the big question. What's it worth?
A lot of the spoons that you see of Paul Revere are about 4.5 or 5 inches long, and those are little teaspoons. This is a big tablespoon. If this was going to be in one of our auctions, I would estimate it to be somewhere in the vicinity of $12,000 to $18,000.
I like you.
That's what my wife says.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, Dana.
This spoon is amazing. It should be in a museum, but it's not. It's in my shop, and I'm going to do everything I can to get it.
Okay, here comes the fun part. What do you want for it?
Well, I'd like to see 15 grand.
When I sell it, I'd love to see 15 grand. All right, so 7 grand cash. Deal.
Hey, come on here. Let's tap dance a little bit here.
You mean 8 grand?
Man, you're killing me.
We take 9 grand for it.
95 and you got a deal.
All right, 9,500.
You got a deal.
Let's go do some paperwork.
We settled for 9,500, and that will help out immensely. So my daughter's just going to have a wonderful wedding.
I am so happy we were able to make a deal. It's going to look great in the showcase, and it's going to bring a ton of history buffs into my shop.
Hello.
Hi.
What do we have here?
So I have a silverware set from the William Rogers Company.
Yeah, good thing I'm not a werewolf.
Yes.
Okay, so in 1847, Rogers Brothers came out. It was a bunch of brothers. They were all silversmiths. They started this silverware company, and silver's expensive, okay? They realized this brand new silver plating system that just came out would cut down 90% of the cost, because 90% of the cost was the silver. With a silver plated set, I mean, if you're middle income, it was a lot less expensive than spending thousands of dollars on a sterling silver set. And the company was basically around for well over 100 years. This is quintessential 1940s, 1950s America. Before there was television sets, people had dinner parties. No matter what your social status, that was a very, very common thing. And when you had a dinner party, you wanted your nice china out and you wanted your nice silverware out. And that was a very important thing all the way up to the 1960s. And this was astronomically popular, which is, on some things it's a good thing, some things it's a bad thing. And on this one, it's a bad thing because they made so much of it and no one has dinner parties anymore. So I just cannot use it because no one wants it anymore.
Which is a real shame, because it is a nice piece of history.
Yeah, well, have a nice day.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Well, no offer was made to me today, which I'm a little sad about that, but I'm probably gonna go ahead and try and sell it on my own.
What do we got here?
I have some sterling silver souvenir spoons.
Cool.
From the 1890s up until about the 30s.
Wow. Any reason spoons was your thing, or?
I was a collector of everything at one time. I worked in 7 different antique malls. I'm gonna sell them since I deal in only gambling memorabilia now.
All right, I didn't know you spoon guys could be such an interesting bunch.
Yeah. I've been collecting spoons now for almost 35 years. The best spoons have great graphics, and they're all extremely historical. I hope to get $5,000, but I'll take $475.
I mean, you got some really interesting stuff here.
Yeah.
Got the bull on this one here, the Alamo, 1718, San Antonio, Texas.
This one's dated 1911. It's from Dodge City, Kansas.
Okay. Yeah, Buffalo Bill Cody was there for a while.
Exactly. Pat Masterson hung around there for a while.
Yeah, he was a pretty gnarly dude.
There's probably only maybe 3 or 4 known.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what are you looking to get out of him?
I think 625.
625?
Yeah, for the lot.
You know, I really don't like to pay more than silver melt for these.
You've got 4 here that'll sell for probably 150. There's your 600 right there.
Oh, man, you are an antique dealer, aren't you?
Yep.
I'll do like 400 bucks.
Can't do it.
625 is just a lot, my man.
I'll tell you, the least I can take on it would be 475, and that would be my rock bottom.
450?
475 is gonna be it, my man. Believe me, you'll make money on these.
All right, I'm gonna do 475, but only because I can put a book in these spoons in front of my grandfather and keep him entertained for weeks.
You're a good man. I think both of us made a very good deal today. The shop will make money, and I believe I did too.